Welcome back to The Wire. It's time for another round of Shot Clock. We got 3 questions on deck, 24 seconds for each. Matthew, you ready to roll?
You got NFL, you got college football, you got basketball. Come on, baby, let's do it.
Yeah, we got the full lineup ahead. Craig, get us started with question number 1.
All right, gentlemen, let's launch Shot Clock off with last week's Super Bowl event. And I must ask you, did the Patriots win the Super Bowl, or was it the Seahawks who lost it?
Craig, this is a question that we all think it's going to be talked about for years and years to come. One of the crazier Super Bowls.
The craziest one I've ever seen.
Who lost it? I hear all the time that the Seahawks, that was the worst call ever. Now, had they have scored, I think that would have been a much different case. I'm going to say the Patriots won it, and I'm going to zero in on Malcolm Butler. I think he won the game for the Patriots. Not necessarily Tom Brady, even though he set Super Bowl records for passes, completions, touchdown passes, all that. All those stats wouldn't have mattered if Russell Wilson would have completed that pass. But instead, Malcolm Butler steps up. He steps in on that slant route. He said it was all dated back to all the film study he had, preparation on the Seahawks, and he knew that play was coming. I think he won them the game.
Career-defining, definitely, that play.
Yeah, rookie.
The Seahawks didn't lose it.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll and Darrell Bevell lost it.
Okay. Coaching staff.
How could you, I mean, we've heard it all over again, but how this guy, Marshawn Lynch.
Beast mode!
Beast mode.
Give the guy the
#1
ball.
in touchdowns the entire season.
Yeah.
How could you deny him the ball? Better yet, you could have even gone a fullback dive right there. They wouldn't have seen it coming. There's 1,000,001 scenarios they could have done, but they wanted to play clock control.
Yep.
They overthought themselves.
Definitely overthinking.
Carroll just wanted to outdo Belichick right there and be like, ha! I'm the better coach.
And it really wasn't Belichick. It was Malcolm Butler just stepping up and making a huge play for the Patriots. But I agree. I think Carroll. I did look back at some stats.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch had the ball at the goal line 5 times this season. He only had 1 touchdown on about the 1-yard line.
You got 3 goes to get
but
it,
at the same time, we're talking Super Bowl. Marshawn Lynch, the angriest player on the field that night. You think that guy was going to be denied? There's no way. If you would have given him the ball, I think the Seahawks would get another
One
ring.
of those times he would have. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, next question. Should the NBA reformat its playoff seeding after this season?
All right, Craig, talking NBA playoffs. Here we go. Spurs, are they going to be out of the playoffs this year?
They will make the playoffs.
Okay,
but we're not
you want
going to talk about the Spurs.
you want to reformat for the Spurs?
I do not want to reformat with the Spurs.
All right,
I
tell us
want to
what we'll do.
reformat for the Western Conference.
Okay, in
I
general.
want to reformat because, in a sense, it's just so wrong considering these 8th, 9th, 10th seed. You got Phoenix Suns, you got the Oklahoma City Thunder fighting for that spot. Meanwhile, they're above ground. They're both above the 500 mark. And in the East, you've got these below 500, 7th, 8th seeds. It's just not fair, and it's been going on for too long. Ever since Jordan retired, you've had what? You've had a Boston Celtics championship here. You've had that short-lived Heat dynasty. You can't forget about
still enough,
the Pistons. It just hasn't been fair. And in terms of competitive-wise, the Western Conference, every single game counts.
Yeah,
just to
I
get
would
in.
agree that the Western Conference definitely has the stronger conference. There's no
for a
doubt about
long
that. You could
time.
say the same thing, though, about the SEC in football. Should they be reformatted and have more people in the college playoff just because they're better? I don't know. You look at the Western Conference, though, I think it's a cycle. I think the Eastern Conference, these teams are starting to get a lot of draft picks. They're starting to get better. And right when you reformat it, look at all of a sudden, you got teams in the Eastern Conference like the Hawks and a lot of other teams in the East that are stepping up and playing ball. And then you might think about reformatting it again.
It should be monitored, definitely. Atlanta Hawks are definitely a beacon of light in that regard in terms of team basketball, what they've had. They just beat the best team in basketball in the Western Conference, and the Warriors.
Yeah.
It's not a bad sign.
Yeah, I would just let it play out.
And finally, if there was one thing you'd change about National Signing Day, what would it be?
All right, my biggest beef right now on National Signing Day is how you have a verbal commitment before your actual signing day. And then these kids, you play it off cool. You say, yeah, I'm going to A&M. And then you have months on months to just kind of re-talk. I don't get it. Why would you commit to A&M and then all of a sudden you go talk to Charlie Strong at Texas, you go talk to Gary Patterson at TCU? Aren't you committed to A&M? I don't like that rule. I think if you commit somewhere, you got to sign on the dotted line. I'd get rid of verbal commitments from the start. If you want to commit early, that's your thing. But once you commit, you're committed. You can't have time to go tweet pictures of Longhorn jerseys and all that stuff. If Kyler Murray goes to A&M, he needs to stay at A&M. No buts about it.
And if Jarrett Stidham goes to Texas Tech, he needs to stay at Texas Tech.
Mad Red Raider fan.
My point right here, it's unrealistic in every sense of the word. You know what I would do, though? I would hold off to all these verbal commits.
Yeah.
And if it was possible, everyone just commits on signing day. It would be a frenzy. It would be
huge.
like, it would be glorified in every sense of the word. Yeah. It would be terrible for us as media guys, hectic to cover it, but boy, would you viewers love watching every single signing.
Sure. There'd be so much buildup, so much hype going into that one day. The fax machines would be working for these colleges, trying to get their forms in.
Twitter would erupt.
Yeah, it would probably blow
crazy.
up. But I think at the end of the day, that would create a true national signing day. Yeah. Whereas now we just see kind of kids turn in their paperwork. They've already been committed for several months.
Some are already on campus.
Yeah, some have been committed since middle school. I don't know. Get rid of verbal commitment.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you back here next week.
All right, Craig, thank you for our questions. The Wire returns after this. Matthew's talking to Ed Too Tall Jones,
he was tall.
The former Dallas Cowboy great. He was tall. That's a large man. We also got Kermit Volleyball, 1965 state championship team. We were there for the 50th anniversary out in Kermit. That's up next. Stay with us.